In this video, I'm going to break down Baki's physique from a bodybuilding perspective. Could he compete against the best of the best? Let's find out. Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. If you're new here, I create all sorts of content on how you can stay fit and healthy from the comfort of your own home. I also do a lot of anime fitness kind of stuff like what we're gonna do today. So if either of those sound like something you're interested in, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more content. Alright, let's jump into it. So in today's video, we're going to be breaking down Baki. Baki is a manga and anime series that's been around for a while and now is very popular on Netflix. Baki Hanma trains with an intense focus to become strong enough to surpass his father, Yuujiro, who is the strongest fighter in the world. And 5 of the world's inmates are gathering to face Baki. Their objective is to taste defeat. Their unmatched strength and skill have led them to grow bored with life itself, and now they seek out Baki in hopes he can overwhelm them and utterly crush them. So this is an insane and very brutal series. Definitely rated R, but if it sounds like something you're interested in, make sure to watch it, it's very entertaining. A lot of the characters in Baki are actually designed after real-life bodybuilders. Take for instance Mr. Oliva. He's literally modeled after a 3-time Mr. Olympia, Sergio Oliva, who was in fact the last person to beat Arnold Schwarzenegger in a bodybuilding competition. So this show's got all sorts of characters with a lot of potential to compete in bodybuilding. But today I want to break down its primary character, Baki himself. Could he compete in bodybuilding? Let's find out. So there's a lot of different artwork with Baki and a lot of different versions. I have found that this is probably the most common picture when looking at Baki's muscles. And it's a really good one because it's a dead-on shot. And of course, we're only going to be looking from the front and the upper body. I know there are some shots of his legs and from his back as well, but nothing quite looks as good as this. So we're going to compare him in this exact picture to some other bodybuilders. So let's jump into it. So remember, there are 4 categories in bodybuilding that you have to be a good bodybuilder. Number 1 is muscle mass. Number 2 are proportions. Number 3 is symmetry. And number 4 is conditioning. According to fandom, Baki is 5'10" and 213 pounds. And that's a pretty good size, especially for classic bodybuilding. So judging based off that, he actually has a pretty good amount of muscle. As you'll see me comparing him to other bodybuilders, he's definitely got some room to grow his muscles quite a bit. So I'm gonna give him a 7 on that. Now onto his proportions. He's got really good proportions. Everything looks great. He's got a very aesthetically pleasing physique. The only thing is that his forearms are just a little too big for his bis and tris. So I'm gonna give him a 7 on that as well. And of course that's because he's not really a bodybuilder. He's a grappler, he's a fighter, which makes sense why his forearms would be a little bit bigger. Okay, so onto his symmetry. You almost never see an anime character with bad symmetry unless they're drawn that way on purpose. So because of that, he gets a 10 out of 10. And then in conditioning. So this isn't really the best shot for conditioning, but we can see from a lot of other pictures, he's got spot on conditioning, almost perfect. You can actually see right here his serratus, all of his abs. You can see the vascularity. You can see a little bit of feathering there. His arms literally look like rocks. They're so ripped. So I'm gonna give him a 9 on that one. So that brings his grand total to 33. Now let's compare him to some other bodybuilders. He's one of the best built men in India. So I think he has almost exactly the same shape as Baki, especially in the shoulders, the arms, and the waist. His shape looks exactly the same. But you can see he's a little more filled out, so on the muscle section, I would probably give him more like an 8 or a 9. And then I also want to compare him to Chris Bumstead, who is your reigning classic Mr. Olympia. Obviously, this is a different pose for Chris, but you can see Chris has the conditioning down pat. He would get a 10 out of 10 on that. And that's one of the reasons why he was Mr. Olympia. He also has a really great shape with a really narrow waist and a great V taper. So when looking at Baki in this lineup, Baki is actually the weakest link between these 3. Like I said, Baki is not a bodybuilder. If he were to gain some muscle and then cut down and really shred up for bodybuilding, I think he would do amazing. He basically has perfect genetics to compete in bodybuilding. So I actually think he could be really competitive with both of these men. So if I had any critique for Baki's physique, it would be to bulk up just a bit more, maybe 20, 30 pounds of muscle, and to really hit the biceps and triceps. If he can get those a little more massive and just put a little more muscle on in general, he would do amazing in classic physique. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I hope you found that educational and entertaining. If you love Baki, make sure to smash that like button below. What do you think about Baki's physique? Would you love to have a physique like that? What other anime or fictional characters would you like to see me break down? Comment down below and let me know. And if you haven't already yet, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more content on how you can stay fit and healthy from the comfort of your own home or on anime fitness. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.